So if you've seen Planet of the Dead, you know it didn't end like that. But in an alternate reality, it did. The 2009 Doctor Who specials looked a little bit differently in 2008 when they were still being developed. Originally, the plan was for there to be 3 specials to wrap up David Tennant's tenure as the Doctor. An Easter special, a Christmas special, and the final Regeneration in 2010. These stories would eventually become Planet of the Dead, The Waters of Mars, and The End of Time Part 1 and Part 2. Today we're going to explore the Christmas special that almost was, A Midwinter's Tale. All 3 of these specials looked completely different during development. Initially, the Easter special, Planet of the Dead, was to be a Star Trek homage, where the Doctor lands on a spaceship called the Endeavour, essentially the USS Enterprise in all but name. Russell T Davies, the showrunner, had initially wanted to create a Star Trek/Doctor Who spin-off episode all the way back in 2004, when he was developing the series. Yet, those plans fell through when Star Trek Enterprise was cancelled. But let's get back to the Christmas special.
What?
A Midwinter's Tale was initially conceived as the penultimate episode before David Tennant's regeneration into Matt Smith. It would have paired the 10th Doctor with a new one-off companion, played by none other than Helen Mirren, or possibly Judi Dench. Russell initially wanted Helen Mirren, but producer Jane Tranter knew that Dench was interested in being in the show. So for the purpose of this video, I've decided to go with Judi Dench, because I feel like that was more likely. The story was to be set in a hotel on Christmas Day. Gran, played by Helen Mirren or Judi Dench, is growing more and more tired of her increasingly loud family, and eventually screams, "I wish you'd all disappear." She leaves the room and everything falls silent. Everyone is gone. Not just her family, everyone. The hotel is deserted, the streets are empty. London is a ghost town. Her phone wasn't working, but she notices a police box on the side of the road.
What?
Together, Gran and the Doctor uncover the truth. An alien race has frozen time to prepare Earth for a carnival, celebrating the marriage of 2 alien royals. Centaur-like creatures patrol the empty streets, decorating to turn the planet into a wedding venue. If the Doctor and Gran get caught, Earth is forfeited to the aliens, for some reason. Ultimately, the Doctor and Gran stop the aliens from taking over the planet, and Gran returns to her family. The Doctor spots an Ood in the snow, telling him that he was to die. The story in its earliest form was conceived in 2007 for the 2008 Christmas special. In that version, the Doctor arrived at the hotel to find it deserted except for her dad, whose family had disappeared. But due to time constraints, the next Doctor, which was the original plan for the special anyway, was developed instead. But in 2008, when planning for the 2009 specials, Russell T Davies thought he'd revisit his old idea. Russell has been known to never let a good idea go to waste. He initially was going to write a story where a dome would be lowered over a city until the Simpsons movie came out and he abandoned the idea. But in the 2023 episode Dot and Bubble, we see a dome city. And in the 2024 Christmas special, the story is set at a hotel at Christmas time. So it makes you think if any more of his undeveloped ideas are going to make their way into the series in the future. Davies had asked Phil Ford to write an outline for the story, and Ford titled it A Midwinter's Tale. Russell was concerned about how expensive it would be to stage a deserted London, and also feared that he had only come up with the first 15 minutes, and after the Doctor met Gran, he didn't really know what was to happen next. Phil attempted to beef out the story, adding the Doctor and Gran being chased throughout the tunnels beneath Buckingham Palace. Russell also became uncertain about the amount of fantasy elements and the lack of incident to fill out the extended runtime. In Benjamin Cook's incredible book, The Writer's Tale, it's interesting to see Russell flirt with the idea of pushing Doctor Who into the supernatural and fantasy realm, something that he would pursue when he returned to the program in later years. Ultimately, by July 2008, Russell decided that the storyline just didn't work. It was replaced by The Waters of Mars. It's sad that we never got to see Helen Mirren or Judi Dench appear in the series. Both actors were considered to play the role of Gran, although Mirren had reportedly turned down offers to appear in the show before. But Russell was optimistic if they gave enough time, Helen Mirren might consider doing it. But I guess we'll never know. The idea of casting a more mature woman to act as the Doctor's companion was carried through with Adelaide Brooke, played by Lindsay Duncan, who is roughly 5 years younger than Helen Mirren. I think the decision not to go ahead with the storyline was probably a smart one. It wouldn't have been the first time the Doctor has landed in an empty and silent London. He did so during the invasion of the dinosaurs. The idea of Helen Mirren or Judi Dench being in Doctor Who is an exciting concept, both incredible actors who would have added so much to the show. I think also the cliffhanger to the Easter special being the reveal that it's Helen Mirren or Judi Dench is probably not very exciting within the universe. I think it's kind of insane that Dench has never been in Doctor Who. She is such an incredible actor and would bring so much gravitas to the show. But I have to agree with the fact that there really was only 15 minutes of good ideas in this story. Once it becomes about an alien princess and giant creatures roaming around London, my brain begins to turn off. Fantasy is my least favourite genre. I don't really care about a bunch of gnomes walking around the field, you know. No offense to anyone who's a fan of Lord of the Rings. It's very, very successful. It's just not my cup of tea. I like Doctor Who for its blend of horror and comedy and science fiction themes. I don't mind a temporary trip into fantasy, but I don't want to stay there full time. Another reason why I'm happy this story wasn't made is because it was replaced by The Waters of Mars, which is one of my absolute favourite Doctor Who stories. I think Lindsay Duncan's performance as Adelaide is one of the finest in the show's history, and really makes me wish that the Doctor would travel around with someone a little bit older. Also, her character shares a name with the city that I live in, Adelaide, so love that. But ultimately, is this a story that sounds exciting to you, or are you also happy it was never made? Let me know in the comment section below. But before I go, I just wanted to say thank you for your support this year, especially the past few months. I feel like I'm in a really good and healthy place with this channel, and I'm so honoured that you all value my silly contributions to this website. This year I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you guys in real life at conventions here in Adelaide and Brisbane, getting to collaborate with other Doctor Who YouTubers, and being involved with the Doctor Who fandom as a whole has brought me so much joy this year. I am so thankful to be a part of this community, and thank you for sharing your love with Doctor Who with me. I really hope that you have an amazing holiday season and a happy new year. Okay. Why do I keep saying okay? Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Josh Nez YouTube channel.